My name is Surya, and I'll be guiding you through the various features of this platform and telling you how to use it. Thank you. Welcome to Geneo. Let's get started. So to begin with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a standard web browser. In this case, I'm using Chrome. What I would like you to do is go into Help and About Chrome and make sure that you have the latest version and it's up to date, and therefore you know that your browser is up to date. The second is to go to the Geneo student site, which is student.geneo.in. On this site, what you will see is there is the possibility of a sign up for those people who have not signed up on the Geneo platform, or you can log in using your Facebook or Gmail credentials directly. In this case, I'm going to use my login, and this will take me to the landing page. This is the main page of Geneo from where the students can select different standards. We have standard 8th, 9th and 10th. We cover CBSE, English medium using the NCERT text. We also have subjects of math, science and English that we cover in this platform. So for the sake of this demo, I'm going to select chapter standard 10 and science. I can do a remember my settings here, in which case it will skip this landing page the next time you log in and take you directly into the textbook. We also have a feature of my profile here, and I will talk about this in a bit, where I will show you the different possibilities under my profile and the different settings that you can put in there. So let's go ahead and select 10 standard and science and say done. And so what we first see is we see the NCERT textbook for 10 standard science, and the few buttons that we have here are to resume your previous session. So if you've logged in previously into this and were working on a particular chapter, you can jump directly to that chapter by hitting your resume button. At any point of time, you will see on all of these screens a question mark with a little arrow. This is your help, and this is context sensitive. That means that whenever you click on this help, it will tell you based on the pages that you are currently, the different kinds of things you can do on this particular page. So please feel free to use your help as often as you need to. Now I'm going to click on the textbook, which gets me to the content, the table of contents, which is the beginning of the textbook. And as you can see that the pages are arranged according to NCERT, the textbook that you follow in school. I'm going to take chapter 13 as my first part. And as it loads, what you can see is that the user interface has changed a little bit. So in the center of your screen, you see the actual textbook, and you see a ribbon of buttons on the top, and I'll explain what these buttons are. And also a little set of interactive tabs here that says add-ons, interactives, assessments and videos, and I'll explain what this is as well. So let's go to page 224, and as you can see that as soon as I've clicked on this page, my videos, add-ons, interactives all have a number above them. This number tells me the number of videos that are attached to this page, and we have taken content from 7-8 different content sources and mapped them onto your textbook for your convenience. So in this case, we have mapped two kinds of video that are relevant to this particular page. In this case, K-class videos, and this is from Khan Academy. We'll get into videos in a second, but let me go down this page and show you. So as a student, normally when you look at a textbook, there are a few things you'd like to do with your textbook. So one is you'd like to actually take and underline certain pieces of text that are important. You can choose different colors for underlining. Also, another thing that you can do is, if you want, you can highlight different sections. So this is easy to read because you know that they've been highlighted again You get a choice of different highlights, so you can have red for equations, green for examples, blue for mathematics, and you can choose different color combinations based on your preference. We also give you an eraser tool here, so in case you underlined or highlighted something by mistake, you can hold the mouse button down and you can erase what's on the page. And this works equally for text and underlined and highlights. So this is basically how one would underline and highlight on your textbook. Another thing that students really like to do with their textbook is to create bookmarks. So normally we would take the corner of the page and fold it down. In this case, you can set a bookmark here by adding a bookmark. Of course, once you've bookmarked a page, the system will tell you that you already have a bookmark in existence. This bookmark can be moved around to your convenience, and you can keep it anywhere you want on the page. The last point that I would like to make here is that students like to take notes, and they would like to associate their notes with actual pages or actual paragraphs or activities inside their textbook. Now this is not possible in a conventional textbook because you've got very limited amount of space in the margins, in the side and the top. And with Geneo, what we can do is that we can have any number of notes that you can make, and you can attach and drag and drop them to wherever you'd like. To make a note, highlight the note. You'll see that there's a yellow highlight around the note icon, which tells you that this particular function is active. If you take your mouse over it, you'll see a little tooltip which says it's note. And then come anywhere in the page and then double click for the note. Here what I'm going to do is quickly just create a note for you. Now at this point in time in the note, we can do a couple of things. We can save this note, obviously, and now this note is here. We can now move it around. Some students like to arrange all their notes on the top of the page, but some students will say this particular note is relevant to this image, so I'm going to have this note be as part of this image. You're welcome to free to use your notes, as many of them on a page as you want, and place them wherever you want on the page. You can always drag and drop them to a new location of your choice. The other things that you can do with the note are, sometimes now once you've created a note, we have to go into the edit mode to go back to editing the note. And you'll see that all of a sudden we've got more icons here, which I'm going to explain to you in a second. Sometimes, especially in the areas of math and physics, you'll have places where you need to put in mathematical notations into your notes. And you can do that very simply by either typing in the notation, and I'll show you what that notation is in a second, and you can see that it has taken that sum within the reverse quote. The reverse quote is there on the left of your number 1 key on your keyboard, and you can see that it's converted this to the summation symbol. Or what we could do is go back into the edit mode and then use what we call a WYSIWYG editor, which is basically an editor that shows you all these symbols, and you can pick and choose from these symbols. So I can create another, and you can see that by clicking on the symbol, it has put in the exact same sum that I typed earlier, and in the same notation. We have Greek letters and different kinds of symbols that we want, and we can choose from here. Or let's go ahead and close the symbol editor. Or what we have is something called a cheat sheet. Let me move the note around, and that has signified with a question mark. And this cheat sheet very quickly tells you if you type something within the reverse quote, then this is what it will appear as. So this is a quick cheat sheet to use. And as you start using it and making yourself more familiar with these, you'll find that typing it out as backquote sum end backquote is a much easier option than going and clicking on a button every time. But initially, to familiarize yourself with that, so I'm going to just say save here. And then when I open up my note, you'll see that we have put in things with other notations in here as well. So there's an equivalent sign and a couple of different summations. So this can be used very effectively to write mathematics and physics equations and other things that you might want to write using the symbol editor. Another feature of this note is that, let's say the student is in class and you've taken 4 or 5 pages of notes in class where the teacher was actually teaching this particular piece of text. You don't want to come back and then retype everything into the Geneo environment. You need to have some way of taking and capturing those pieces of text from your exercise book and attaching them as notes. So here you can find that there's a little attachment which looks like a gem clip. I can click on that, and what it does is that it pulls up a standard web browser, and I can go and I can look at pictures, or I can look at different things from my computer, and I can attach these pictures onto my notes themselves. So just as an example, I'm going to go and take a picture, go ahead and attach it there, and then I hit, as you can see, that it's created a little notation for me. Don't worry about what it says, and we can go ahead and continue. And let's go ahead and save our note. At this point, the note not only has our text but also our images, and we are free to look at those images and pull those images out. So this basically covers what you can do with the textbook. Also, do understand that as you flip through the various pages of this textbook, you'll find that the videos and the add-ons and the interactives keep changing. This is because different videos and different interactives are mapped onto different pages. So on this particular page, we find that there is a video that's relevant to this particular section. So now let's spend some time talking about the different kinds of videos that are there in the Geneo learning environment. We have animation videos, which are basically, I've gone ahead and clicked on that video. You can see that little video window has popped up. And
let's discuss the magnetic lines of force for a circular conductor.
I'm going to pause it here. So in this video window, you can see a couple of things. One is that you can move.
We need a rectangular piece of cardboard.
You can move it around, and this allows you for easy viewing of the text in the background. So you can move the text around. You can move the video window around, and you can also see the window while reading your textbook in the background. Other things that you can do with this are you can rate the quality of the video. So, and this is not necessary or mandatory, but you could rate the quality of the video as good, medium, or poor, and you can also rate the audio quality. If you are using Geneo in the mobile environment or with a limited bandwidth connectivity, we would suggest that going to this auto button here and clicking on it gives you different options, and you can see that you can choose a speed all the way down to 96 kilobits per second, which is low quality video but ideally suited for environments in which you have less than a 3G connection. Or you can step it up and go all the way up to high definition 1080p video if you have a good internet connection and a stable one from where you're viewing this.